found something. Buenos Aires International Airport this morning. Now watch this.
Heralds.
Trail ends at the airport, but turns out that a top Providence operative owns a vineyard in the area. Don Yates, of infamous New York law firm Morgan, Yates & Cohn. And get this, it's hosting his retirement party today.
She's infiltrated them. She's sending a message. She needs my help.
Could have fooled me.
You don't know her.
Anyway, if you're going after her, you'll need to deal with the Herald. Her name's Tamara Vidal, former CIA asset and political firebrand. She's a master of surveillance and the Constant's most trusted aide. She'll have eyes everywhere. You won't get far as long as she's in the game.
Why are you telling me this? I thought you were out.
Yeah. Old habits, I guess. Anyway, I need to go. See you around, 47.
No, you won't.
Because you're not an idiot. Let's just humor him. Yates likes his little games. Don't be long.
You got my message.
You'd never get caught on camera. Not unless you wanted to be seen. So what's the play?
You're not the only one who's been busy, 47. I'm this close to becoming the next Constant. I'll be able to dismantle Providence from the inside. Only one man stands in my way. Don Yates. That weasel was the partner's legal counsel for years. He's the top candidate. But remove him from the playing field.
It won't work. If Edward suspects...
I will convince him you acted alone. Retaliation for Grey. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
The Herald, Tamara Vidal. She has eyes everywhere, and they're all fixed on you. The plan won't work unless we take her out.
She never leaves my side for long. Whatever your plan is, I'll help you if I can.
You're sure about this?
As sure as I'll ever be. Here, I got you an invitation, just like old times. Come find me when it's done. Good luck, 47.
Oh my gosh, be careful. The ground's super loose here. If we fall, we're going to seem like such idiots.
We won't fall. We just need to get the peak and we are good. And look at that gorgeous view. You know it will be worth it. Everyone's going to be beyond jealous.
Oh, you're so right. The colors alone and the lighting. Could you ask for better lighting in a million years? It's like golden hour times 20.
I'm not going to lie though. This gravel is making me really nervous.
Yeah, same. We just have to get the right framing though and snap it, and then I can liquefy our jawlines a bit so we're snatched, and then we can go.
Right. Super quick.
Ready, Pam? 3, 2, one. And
For more than 2 decades, New York-based law firm Morgan, Yates & Cohn has been among the most successful and the most controversial companies in the United States. Founded in the greed is good downtown era of the mid-1980s by Kenneth Morgan, Don Yates, and Theodore Cohn, the firm quickly amassed an impressive client roster, counting such corporate behemoths as top investment bank Milton Fitzpatrick and Van Orton Tobacco. A reputation for ruthlessness and dirty tactics, no doubt originating with the notorious affluenza defense of murderous socialite Chelsea Whitmore, has long stuck to their name. But despite the persistent outrage of progressives, the firm has enjoyed a seemingly never-ending streak of successes and legal triumphs. This, however, may be changing. Just a few months ago, senior partner Ken Morgan passed away unexpectedly at the Hitman Hotel in Bangkok. And now, another of the founding partners, Don Archibald Yates, in front of whose Argentinian vineyard I am currently standing, has announced his retirement from the firm. And so, the burning question in the upper echelons of corporate America is this: has Morgan, Yates & Cohn finally run out of steam? I am Pam Kingsley, reporting live from Mendoza, Argentina, on GNN News.
I mean, they fade in captivity. I've never seen them quite so vivid before. Oh, this is a rare treat. Oh well, mustn't be late. The gear is fairly common in these parts after all. I'll get a picture later. Valentina must be over the moon about Don stepping down. She's been living alone here for, what, 6 years? Ever since the scandal that ruined her career.
Are you kidding? That's the perfect marriage.
Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble of finely aged cynicism, but the Yateses are genuinely crazy about each other. They're the proverbial power couple. Valentina was always Don's most trusted advisor and vice versa. Some say she's the brains behind some of his most famous court strategies.
Huh. Talk about insult to injury.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's just that one of Yates's clients is the rival to the Semaphore phone company, which got exposed in the data leak that ruined Valentina's career. In fact, Yates would have lost his first high-profile case had it not happened. I guess her loss was his gain.
Huh. Didn't know about that. Well, I guess if they can survive that, they can survive anything.
Except retirement. Hey there.
I was looking for you at the club last Saturday, but the doorman said you hadn't been there all day. I was sure he was lying, but the concierge told me the same thing.
Something came up. What do you want me to say?
I understand. You know I do. But Emilia, she really had her heart set on seeing you.
How old is she now? 10? I'm sure she'll be fine. You know I never wanted to be a helicopter pilot.
No way. Guys like Yates don't retire. He can pretend he's going to be a full-time winemaker, but if he's leaving Morgan, Yates & Cohn, it's because he has a better offer.
He's a founding partner in the most powerful law firm on earth. How do you top that?
All I know is he's been burning the midnight oil, and he's not prepping for a case. Yates isn't winding down, he's gearing up. Some kind of private consultant job, perhaps? Mafia consigliere?
Hola.
Papal advisor?
Honestly, if Don Yates walks into a church, I'm fairly sure he'll burst into flames.
Not good enough, man. Not even close. Get out of here. You heard him. You can't be here.
Bienvenida, Yates. May I see your invitation, please? Gracias, señor. Enjoy the party.
Did you care for an aperitif?
Thank you. So, you must know everything that goes on at the event. Care to give me the lowdown?
Let's see. Most of the guests have already arrived. And let me tell you, it's like a Forbes 500 convention in there. Most are high-profile clients of Morgan, Yates & Cohn. But the Yateses are still no shows. Word is, they're still up at the house.
They haven't made an entrance yet. Curious. Any idea why?
Well, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but Word is that Yates was in a great mood this morning, but that all changed when the letter arrived.
The letter?
Yeah, an honest-to-God letter delivered by courier. I mean, who writes letters anymore? Anyway, it must have been bad news, because Senor Yates heard the plant off the balcony. Big heavy one, too. It almost hit Isabel, one of the maids who had to go lie down.
Oh. Anything else?
The party is not the only thing happening at the estate. The winery is open for guests, too. You should check it out if you're interested in winemaking. It's harvest season, after all.
I might just do that. Thank you for your time, miss.
Right. Pleasant evening, senor.
Thank God it's finally over. That extra security detail was driving my wife and kids crazy.
We lucked out. Heralds say a handful of operatives were lost, but I figure they're downplaying. We've all seen the news. Lots of power players dropping like flies. But as long as we don't know who everybody else is, it's hard to call their bullshit. How did they recruit you?
I was approached by the old constant during my senior year, like my thesis on plutocracy. Got me a position with Sheffer Moore, then Morgan, Yates & Cohn, then Hampson Oil. I must have skipped 20 years of corporate climbing. Before I knew it, I was Secretary of State. And all I had to do was answer the occasional call, do the occasional favor. Seemed a sweet deal at the time. You?
My tech startup was caught up in a losing fight with one of the big five. I won't mention any names. Then a herald shows up. Says he represents a kind of corporate superstructure that is willing to acquire my startup and cover the cost of the lawsuit without asking a single share in return. All I would have to do... well, you know the rest.
I'm reasonably sure I helped get Richard Quincy elected, securing Providence access to the country's rhodium mines. But the heralds never reveal their grand
You're
scheme,
making
do
me
they?
feel very uncomfortable.
No way to say for sure.
Go away.
Sometimes I find myself wanting to know what I've been accessory to over the years. Other times...
I hear you. Ignorance is bliss.
Radiant today. Have you been doing something new, or is that just the early retirement glow?
Thank you so much. God, you're so sweet to ask. I actually just rebuilt my entire skincare regimen around the 3 C's. Vitamin C, ceramides, and copper peptides. It's been an utter revelation.
Well, it certainly sounds like you've been busy. I'm sorry for prying, by the way. A girl's entitled to her secrets, but I really just had to know.
No, don't worry. I've been dying to talk to someone about it. You're the first person here who's even bothered to ask.
One of the most gifted surveillance specialists ever to graduate from Kent. Ran one of our interrogation black sites for a while, and I tell you, those prisoners folded like lawn chairs. I couldn't believe it when she left the agency to go into politics, of all things.
Well, Vidal is nothing if not unpredictable.
I'd read her file, of course. Parents were political, fought on the side of the junta. And Tamara always was a firebrand. Still, talk about wasted potential.
Well, you'll be happy to know that she still dabbles in the dark arts.
Oh? How's that?
You already know Kronstadt R&D invests heavily in surveillance tech. Well, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but Tamara Vidal represents one of our biggest private sponsors, and she's been instrumental in developing a cutting-edge new line of nanodrones.
Is that a fact? And who might this client be?
You're the CIA. You figure it out. All I know is she played an unusually hands-on role as a technical advisor. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if she had her tiny spies buzzing around this place, recording everything we say.
Balls. I missed the Cold War.
It's the damnedest thing, to be sure, like a Golden Age detective novel. First, an old money aristocrat dies, who just happens to control half the world's shipping enterprises. Then, on the night of her funeral, mind you, the younger sibling is murdered in his sleep, surrounded by his closest kin. And the motive? Well, this, as they say, is where the plot thickens. See?
Wait, don't spoil it. I'm waiting for the True Crime podcast.
Oh, you won't have to wait long. We just secured the publishing rights. I got the author of the Jack Sparta novels to do an adaptation based on the testimony of the PI who cracked the case.
That was fast. I'd expect a prolonged bidding war.
As it turns out, the family is strapped for cash. The Carlyles have had a rough year.
See that guy over there? That's Don Yates' fixer from New York.
That is Corvo Black?
Don't stare. He's busted heads for less. The man's a beast.
Oh, I know the stories. Started out in narcotics, got fired for misconduct, not to mention headbutting an internal affairs officer. He turned PI and eventually wound up on the payroll of Morgan, Yates & Cohen as an investigative consultant.
Right. Evidence tampering. Witness intimidation. The odd bit of B&E. A regular jack of all trades. I take it you heard about Reggie West's hit and run? Nasty business. But I suppose everybody needs a Corvo now and then.
Wonder what he's doing here, though, at Yates' retirement party.
Yates is the kind of man who keeps his enemies close. I figure old Corvo is not here for the hors d'oeuvre.
Hello there, and welcome to the Yates Winery. How may I help you?
First time at the estate. Could you show me the lay of the land?
Certainly, senor. This is the visitor center. On your right is the tasting room, where we have a lovely selection of house Cabernets. Upstairs is the dining and bar area, and over to your left are the bathrooms. If you peek over the railing, you can look down onto our state-of-the-art fermentation area. You can't go down, though. As staff only, I'm afraid.
Thank you. Most helpful.
My pleasure.
PTSD, huh? You buy it?
It's not unreasonable. Think about it. Duval was kidnapped by the militia and held hostage for weeks. He was forced at gunpoint to disclose the existence of Providence in a public broadcast. And those animals would probably have executed him like they did Thomas Cross if our security team hadn't broken him free. I would need therapy.
So, Duval survives just long enough to retract his statement, appoint a Providence-backed successor as CEO of Ether, and then he accidentally slips in his bathtub during an anxiety attack?
It's odd, I don't deny it. But take Godfrey. Now, he's gotten it into his head that the partners are all somehow dead, and that the Constant runs Providence in their place. Conspiratorial thinking is a rabbit hole, my friend.
But if they murdered him, Duval was a rat, but he had no choice.
He did. Just not a very attractive one.
I've been meaning to ask you if you could give me the name of the artisan you hired to carve out that relief for your garden. You know how much Mother adores it. I was hoping to commission something similar for her 80th birthday.
Of course I'd help you if I could, but I believe he died just after he completed our project. Very unfortunate. But at least he went out on a high note.
Seriously? Why are you like this?
You're a resourceful man. You'll manage.
To see you. Mother's been nagging me no end to ask where you found that muralist who worked on your foyer. Do you still have their card?
You know I'd love to share, but if I told you, then you'd probably tell someone else, and they would tell someone after that, and pretty soon mine would just be one more in the crowd. You understand, yes?
What? You can't be serious.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll find someone comparable.
hut life. We're talking knee-deep. The whole place looked like a horror flick. Of course, Yates came down and told the poor sod in charge of the tanks a new one.
You'd think there was some kind of fail-safe mechanism or early warning system in place.
Yeah, you would, but you'd be wrong. If the pumps malfunction, the tanks overflow. That pretty much sums it up. So, pay attention to that pump flow. Unless you're in the market for an extra orifice.
Lightning never strikes twice. We'll be fine.
These fermentation tanks are accident-prone. If the pump malfunctions, the tanks overflow. This has happened before. Provoke.
Serve the law. Now, I serve something far grander. I serve the land, and the land of Mendoza longs to make one.
I grew up here. These majestic plains were my playground, and returning here to pick up the mantle of my ancestors feels just incredibly profound.
Our goal here at Vidyetta Yates is simple. From our state-of-the-art winemaking facility to our carefully nurtured grapestock, hand-picked with loving care by local experts, we have only one purpose. I was an attorney. For 4 decades, I served the law. Now, I serve something far grander. I serve the land, and the land of Mendoza longs to make one.
I grew up here. These majestic plains were my playground, and returning here to pick up the mantle of my ancestors feels just incredibly profound.
Our goal here at Vidyetta Yates is simple. From our state-of-the-art winemaking facility to our carefully...
Senor, may I recommend the House Cabernet Sauvignon, a fine vintage.
Our Cabernet Sauvignon.
House Cabernet.
Now, for its
Enjoy.
complexity, you're likely to recognize notes of raisin and black.
Any luck on that Pinot Noir?
I'm afraid not, ma'am.
I believe you'll be pleasantly surprised. The legs on this one are quite something, don't you think?
And those notes of tobacco. I'd go so far
Good
as to
evening,
say
sir.
they're akin to Acadian.
Let's rejoin. Wherever you go, I go.
Strong aromatic notes, black currant and red cherries. On the palate, a trickle of sweet spice and
Cabernet
savory plums.
As you know,
Yes, not bad.
and grown.
Senor is a connoisseur.
I dabble.
You would be scandalized, senor, at just how many of the upper crust who only pretends to know why. Why, that ghastly former right-wing politician Tamara Vidal. She came in earlier and asked for a Pinot Noir. Oh, can you believe it?
Rubber.
God, ours is a civilization in decline.
Absolutely. Yes to,
A pleasure to serve you, senor.
Wow.
Leaves. Would you say?
Are we even drinking the same vintage? I'm not getting that at all.
I grew up
instead. Who were they again?
Couple of old money scions, Ingram and something Dutch sounding. I bet Sheikh Al-Ghazali was the real target. Everyone knows the family funds terrorism. Did you see any of it happen?
No, they were discreet about it. I caught a glimpse of a body bag, but that's about it. It was only when someone realized that the elevators had stopped working that the word caught on. Imagine all those socialites descending 200 flights of stairs on foot.
Guess all those personal trainers finally paid off.
Corvo, got a message from the boss. Duty calls.
Let me guess, the Burnwood woman.
That's right. Yates has arranged for the chief winemaker to take Burnwood and Tamara Vidal on a grand tour of the estate. Wants you to tag along.
Not for my sparkling personality. This Burnwood woman sure has his panties in a twist. Wonder what the deal is.
Yates' business is his business. Just get yourself ready and sign into the visitor center. Oh, have a drink on my behalf.
I don't drink. Makes me sentimental.
A private tour of the estate. Diana, Vidal, and this fixer, Corvo Black. Black is a threat, but also an opportunity. Yates's own machinations are inconsequential. Joining the tour will give access to Vidal, away from the crowd.
Mr. Yates. Yeah, I got your message. You mind telling me what I'm... Okay. Yeah, I can do an accident. In fact, a couple of spots come to mind. On the tour or after. On standby. So you're not sure yet? Does that mean there's a plan A? One where I don't stand a 50-50 chance of getting caught? I mean, you do realise the risk here, boss. Broad daylight, workers around. Who exactly is this Burn?
It's a nice gesture.
Yeah, all right.
A bit hubristic.
But if I'm gonna be one of these heralds of yours, you need to start letting me in on a few things.
Never been Don Yates' style.
Okay. So who's this fool guy?
I'm more of a beer man myself.
Thank you.
But if Yates wants to bring the heralds closer together and play the modern boss,
no problem.
I don't actually
I
mind.
just never framed an urban
Edward's
legend
always
before.
was
Very post-truth.
Plus, he has
I
good
like it.
reason to be confident. He is Edward's closest legal advisor. Not even Thomas Cross or Eugene Cobb had a direct line of contact. I'd say Yates is at the top of a very short list.
So, how do you feel about Burnwood?
How do you think? She and her friends killed Yamazaki, Cassidy, probably Bronson. How is she fit to be a herald? But on the other hand, people defect all the time, and she's most certainly qualified.
True. The Constant knows what he's doing. Doesn't mean we have to like it.
And a good day to you.
Awful shame what happened. It was the most charming little village. Almost made it onto the UNESCO World Heritage List. Must have been some rainfall.
I take it Edward told you to terrible, terrible shame.
Any idea why?
I
You know
blame
why.
climate change.
Trust is
Nothing
earned.
we at the Mendoza
Until
local
Edward is
council could have done
satisfied
about it,
you're
of
not
course.
sailing under a
Man
false
plans
flag,
and
I
God
will
laughs and
find
all
some
that.
ears.
I meant why you?
I suppose I'm more
So you don't
perceptive
think
than
the
most.
construction of a
You're
brand new
very
dam
loyal.
right on the other side of the
I
village
guess
might have
that
had
would be
anything to
tricky to
do
make
with
me
the
a
flooding?
herald, not too
The dam that
popular with the other
conveniently redirects the
You're
underground
about
water
5
flow to
minutes
this
ago.
very vineyard,
Some people are funny
bypassing
like
the
that,
local
but
ban
not
on
you.
irrigation.
I admire
The very same dam that was
the audacity.
donated by a foreign benefactor
said Providence
whose
was
name is
untouchable
lazily
on a long
Yates
weekend.
in reverse.
Way I see it,
Nonsense.
you did
Mr. Sete is an honest businessman. And
I
Mr.
like
Yates
you
is a
already.
pillar of the
Touché.
community. He would never think to break the rules. He, a gentleman of the law. You should be ashamed of yourself, ma'am. Good day to you.
Tell me you didn't forget the asado torch. Okay. I didn't forget the asado torch, Miguel.
But you did, though. Didn't you, Pablo?
Finally. Plates over there.
Madre de Dios. Why do you have to be such a baby all the time? Mr. Yates' gates are waiting. What are we supposed to tell him?
Yes.
The dinner is late because the Yosa
Why is
brothers
the
forgot the
DJ
torch
still
for
at
the
the
damn asado pit?
It's just a stupid torch. I'm sure someone's gonna like Miguel.
It's traditional. Look, I'm not gonna explain it to you, little. Just find another torch. Don't care how. forward with a laughing stock.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Why Mother prefers him, I will never understand.
No, we're not paying for the records. Hard currency will just have to sue the airline. I happen to know a good lawyer. Bye.
Hi. Whatever.
Can you imagine having a car even half as expensive as what those people pulled up in?
I try not to think too much about what they spend their money on.
Looking away doesn't make it any less true.
What are we doing here, Dexy?
Monumental Records are longtime clients of Morgan Yates and Cohn. I thought we'd come show Don our support.
He's a blood-sucking leech. He's like evil incarnate.
A free bar is a free bar, Heidi.
How is any of this relevant to our promotional tour?
The class always had a strong following in Buenos Aires. You and Quentin have a 52% recognition rate. That's impressive in a fragmented post-monocultural market.
Good day to you, sir.
Especially since Jordan was always the front man.
We're not the class, Dexy. We're
the band formerly known as The Class, minus Jordan Cross. That's the reality, Heidi. You don't like it? We can still accept the live gig with Serafina. She plays arenas. It's good, steady money.
Pass. I do have a shred of dignity left.
Oh, yeah? Want me to hold on to that for you?
Screw you, Dexy.
It'll be fine, dear. You'll get a hit and make lots of money. Hell, you might even see some of it once Quantum Leap and Dynasty Global and all other streaming platforms have taken their share. You just smile and do what rock stars do best, dear.
Yeah? What's that?
Get drunk on somebody else's dime.
I'm saying, no other law firm has this kind of brand penetration.
So, people all over the world know that Morgan Yates and Cohn are a bunch of soulless assholes. Good
Have
for
a nice
you.
day.
No, not good. Great. 94% of my cases never go to trial. Why? Because the moment the other side hears the name of Morgan, Yates, and Cohn, they know shit's about to get ugly. They know they're entering a Category 5 shit hurricane, and they can either settle or get neck deep in that chunky brown water.
And here I was so looking forward to the buffet.
The Chelsea Whitmore trial gave us some notoriety. Ken the Brick Morgan's affluenza defense is the stuff of legends. But really, it was the documentary about Van Orton tobacco that made us a household
Why are
name.
you here, Burnwood?
Didn't you know?
Van Orton sponsored a well drilling project in sub-Saharan Africa, only to spike the groundwater with nicotine to boost their customer base. And my friend and mentor, Don Cajones Gates, got them off on a technicality. Oh, it was beautiful.
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
All those years,
If you'll excuse me.
you never took a contract
Something
for
I
money
said?
or glory, only to serve your personal brand
Hola,
of vigilante
señor.
justice, targeting those who rise above the law, except for yourself, of course. But hey, everyone's a hypocrite. Still, makes you wonder.
I was wasting my potential. I did garbage duty for 30 years, and where did it get me?
You've certainly kept the world's coroners on their toes.
Edwards is right. Power never dies. It only changes hands. And his hands, well, I figure the world could do a lot worse.
You admire him.
I thought resisting power was noble. But revolution is a young person's game. It's easy to tear down, much harder to build. I figure I can be Edward's conscience. God knows I have the practice. Did I pass your test?
It was hardly the Pledge of Allegiance, but it's the best I could expect from a free-thinking radical.
I tell you, whoever thought they were doing the world a favor
Hello,
by
sir.
bumping off Rico Delgado and his fixer, Andrea Martinez, needs a crash course in history.
I'd think one less drug lord would be a good thing.
Well, not if they're the lesser evil. Rico Delgado was a son of a bitch, but he was our son of a bitch, plus a stabilizing factor for the whole region. Now, the cartel is in the hands of Mad Dog Hector Delgado, and he's about 3 Colombian neckties away from a full-scale drug war.
The Morenos?
Somehow, the mad bastard's got it into his head that Martinez and his brother were killed by a Moreno assassin who infiltrated their ranks. He's purging his own sicarios at random, and they, in turn, are ratting on each other like 1950s Hollywood. It's a hot mess. Plays merry hell with the construction and real estate market.
Perhaps someone should take steps to retire him.
With ICA off the board. Good luck finding someone crazy enough.
So, what's your take on these ICA papers? Oh, hell of a thing.
I'll say. As if we haven't had enough market turmoil this year.
It's just disgraceful how an agency like the ICA could exist and thrive for so long without the public's knowledge.
Boggles the mind.
That it does. That it does. I do wonder, though.
Yes?
Well, just for the sake of argument, say one had an urgent problem and one found oneself without one's usual, how should I put it?
Service provider?
Yeah, precisely. Well, what I'm getting at is all those shady drug lords and foreigners and whatnot who find themselves in need of a new such provider. Well, I was just wondering how they might go about that. Hypothetically, of course.
Right. Well, I'm clearly not the right sort of person to ask.
Of course not. Just making conversation.
I certainly wouldn't be in the possession of a phone number to one such individual.
Surely not.
And even if I were, I certainly wouldn't be inclined to pass it on.
Well, no, that would be wildly unethical.
Right. So, good talk. Food for thought. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need a shot in the arm. Ask for Stone. Good man. Reliable. And don't mention the nose.
I thought I could invest in the property.
St. Martin. Just calling to check on those accounts we discussed. Correct. Yeah, Panama, Dominica, and Costa Rica. And my instructions were followed to the letter? Splendid. I shall inform Mr. Yates. Your guess is as good as mine. Yates's mystery client is setting up a Kafka-esque labyrinth of staggering complexity. Shell companies and phantom accounts looping in on themselves like a Mobius strip in a bad suit. I got a nosebleed just thinking about it. Okay. Between you and me, I couldn't help but follow a few breadcrumbs. And here's the strangest part. The money all seems to flow from another older shell corporation called Providence. Name rings a bell? Yes, that terrorist transmission a few months ago. Now, the thing was controlled by three families. Very old money, the Carlyles of the Carlyle Shipping Group, the Ingrams Oil and Steel Techniques, and the Stuyvesant Real Estate. Yes, I see you read obituaries too. That is when I decided to do as my mentor taught me, cash my check, and mind my own goddamn business. Words to live by, yes? Well, same to you.
thought she'd be taller.
Everyone looks tall on a stage. She's changed her hair, but that's still Tamara Vidal.
Oh, shit. She had all the pundits shaking in their boots a few years back. What was her party called again?
Future Federation. It was a kind of a crypto-fascist movement promoting meritocratic corporatocracy with a splash of transhumanism to lure in the Silicon Valley. At Pax Mundus, we did a report about the geopolitical ramifications to trigger a regional surge to the right. But the party lost momentum when Vidal stepped down.
Was there some kind of scandal?
Nothing public. She just left. Must have gotten a better offer. You know how these firebrands are. Always ready to cash in some of that political capital for a corner office.
Y entonces...
Hello there, and welcome to the Yates Winery. How may I help?
Corvo Black. I'm on the tour.
Right, Mr. Black. Welcome. Miss Burnwood and Miss Vidal will meet you down by the wine fields. I trust you know the way?
I can find my way around.
Enjoy the tour.
How you been?
Greetings, must have lost his mind. Burnwood was in league with Grey. She's responsible for killing how many of our people? How could she be a herald?
Maybe Vidal will trip her down the stairs. Those heels are an accident waiting to happen.
Don't hold your breath. Vidal is a true believer, fiercely loyal to the Constant. It must be why he chose her to show Burnwood the ropes. Figured the rest of us wouldn't forgive and forget so easily. Sneaky bastard.
The man didn't get to where he is by accident. From that Merc of yours, I take it Ether is in?
Ether, Kronstadt, Hampson, Milton Fitzpatrick, Quantum Leap, Dynasty Global. All the big players now officially under the same corporate umbrella.
How does he do it?
Well, it's also deceptively simple. The partners created a power cabal bound together by secrets and back-scratching. All the Constant did was make it real. Enter the Destiny Group, a fully legal, entirely official, supranational corporate entity. By merging, each company becomes untouchable, moving beyond any state jurisdiction. Granted, there's a certain amount of legal trailblazing yet to be done, but Yates and his team are confident it'll work out.
And where will this Destiny group be based? Space?
No need for that. See, it just so happens that the Ark Society bought a swathe of Arctic land from Denmark.
The Hyperborea site. The world's first sovereign corporate state. Holy...
Not bad, huh? I guess that makes you and me ambassadors. The Constant never ceases to amaze me.
Over here!
You two must be Burnwood and Vidal.
And you must be Yates's garbage man. Sorry, but I didn't catch your name.
This is Corvo Black, Tamara. He's a ICA regular.
I only work with the best.
Well, we're all here, it seems. Except for our guide, the chief winemaker. Looks like we're stuck here until someone fetches him. Mr. Black, I'm looking in your direction.
Hold on. I'll track him down.
Attaboy. Do try and bring him back in one piece. Counterintuitive as that may be.
That was a bit rude.
Yes. Yes, it was.
So, he really was telling the truth. I had no idea who he was working for. Remind you of anyone? That's different. We're not putting our lives on the line.
Tell that to Yamazaki and Cassidy. Hajun was shot point blank in a parking lot. Bronson was never heard from again.
Fine. I take your point.
Turns out some of Gray's militia went rogue after he joined up with Burnwood and her assassin. Idle hands and all that. This Orson Mills was caught robbing a money transport in Belgium. A few calls to the right people and he was ours. The Constant sent an ether extraction team to wring the truth out of him. But Gray had studied us, mimicked our structure. Mills was recruited by Alma Reynard, who was recruited by Sean Rose, and you get the picture. Meanwhile, I don't know if it was the interrogation drugs or just plain Stockholm Syndrome, but Orson Mills saw the light. He is now one of us.
No kidding.
He's joined the Constant's private security team. Seems there were a few vacancies after the Thornbridge operation.
Well, here's the new beginning.
Ah, my fellow wine lovers. Hello. Welcome to Viñeda Yates. I do apologize for the delay, but the Malbec grape is a demanding mistress. So, I am Gabriel Vargas, chief winemaker, and I will be your tour guide. Any questions before we start?
Yes, but you're not going to like them.
We're good. Lead the way, Senor Vargas.
Wonderful. Follow me. These are busy times. In fact, we're just about to harvest this year's crop. Gray expectations. So how do you like Argentina?
Like everywhere else. Full of Americans.
First stop on the tour is the production floor, where our prize-winning Malbec grapes are processed. We insist on steaming every grape by hand, which means that during harvest season, the grapes do tend to pile up. Luckily, we have plenty of storage space. Our equipment is state-of-the-art, including an industrial-sized freezer unit, and last but not least, our trusty grape crusher.
Interesting. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Black?
Follow me, please.
Are you a wine man, Black? Somehow you don't seem the type.
Oh, I believe Mr. Black here is something of a jack of all trades. Isn't that so?
I dabble.
I see. I just thought Yates might be sending a message. My mistake.
So, have any of you been to a vineyard before?
Only on business.
Next on our tour is the fermentation atrium, where the wine goes through its primary stage of fermentation. In these big open tanks, yeast converts the sugars in the wine to alcohol, in a process that lasts between 5 and 15 days. This is also where we squeeze the mass into a fine juice using our grape presser before the longer secondary stage of fermentation.
Fascinating.
Now, before we move on, do any of you have questions?
How about you, Mr. Black? You look like you have something on your mind.
I have a question. It's... perhaps we can take a closer look.
Certainly. Lead the way.
What can you tell me about this device? Grape presser, was it?
That is correct, senor. After primary fermentation, the mass is pressed through a fine filter, leaving only the flesh and skins behind. I should add that grape stomping, the iconic practice of crushing grapes with your bare feet, is historically rare and mostly a tourist gimmick. But you are most welcome to try. Imagine you're a grape.
Thanks. I'll pass.
Go on. I'll take a picture of the three of you.
Oh, come on, Tamara. When in Rome.
Fine.
queso.
May I see that, Mr. Vargas? I believe I blinked.
So, this is what the little guy feels like.
No, all good. Looks like one for the mantle.
Now, are there any more questions? Don't be shy. Wait.
You know we wouldn't have to play this stupid game.
What can you tell me about this freezer?
This is an industrial cold storage unit to keep our excess grape stock to prevent decay. It easily reaches temperatures of minus 10 degrees Celsius. Trust me, you don't want to stay in here for long.
No kidding. Hey, there's no doorknob on the inside. It seems like a pretty glaring safety omission, if you ask me.
Probably soundproof, too.
And good luck getting a phone signal.
Such imaginations you have. But there really is no need to worry. Why? We haven't had an accident since Mrs. Yates' dog was run over by a grape picker. Anything else you wish to know? There's really no trouble.
Does this game even ever use? What's the point? Whatever.
What can you tell me about this grape crusher?
Well, as the name implies, it crushes the steamed grapes into a thick pulp or must by a powerful rotating cylinder. She is one of the most important appliances in our production pipeline.
Have you had any workplace accidents?
Fall into the back and get crushed with one pipe. You'd have to be a bona fide idiot. Waste of space, Ryzen.
Yes, well, fortunately, we have had none of that. So if there's no further questions... Huh? Ah, yes. I just love to clean up What happened to your colleague?
Urgent call. Something about work. I don't think she'll be coming back.
Oh, well. I'm sure she can find her way out. Let's proceed. Excelente. Let's continue to the barrel room. If you'll follow me. So, are you associates of Mr. Yates?
You might say we run in the same circles.
Law and order. Must be very exciting.
It's about 99% preparation.
Are you enjoying yourself, Mr. Black?
It's all very inspiring.
I can see you retired to a place like this. Winemaking speaks to your meticulous nature. Surely you don't plan to be Yates's fixer forever.
I have been told recently to think about the future.
And so we arrive to our final stop, the barrel room. This is where we store the wine during the secondary stage of fermentation. The area behind the glass is where we keep our most precious bottles, including a 1945 Grand Paladin, the most expensive wine in existence. The access doors, which are made from ballistic glass, can only be unlocked from the security room high above our heads.
Remarkable.
Here comes Senor Yates now. I shall leave you in his capable hands.
How reassuring.
Ah, Miss Burnwood, is it not? Don Yates. Pleased to meet you. You come very highly recommended. As Chief of the Heralds, let me be the first to say welcome aboard.
Why, thank you, Mr. Yates. Rest assured that I will be following your every lead very closely.
Say, that reminds me. We're about to have a little Herald get-together up at the house. Just a modest toast to celebrate my forthcoming inauguration as Constant. You are, of course, most welcome to join us. I believe you shall make a fine herald, once the training wheels are off.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Capital. Right this way, into the lion's den. Why don't you take a break, Corvo? We're done here for now, I think. Oh, but don't go too far. I may still need your services later.
I'll be closer than you think.
Oh, almost forgot. Cortazar, please nip down to the wine cellar and tell Mr. Flowers, the sommelier, to prep the 1945 Grand Paladin and bring it up to the house for our special occasion.
Got it, Chief. Flowers. Mr. Yates wants the 1945 Grand Paladin brought up to the house. Special occasion.
What? Did aliens land on the front lawn? Have the ghosts of Jesus, John Lennon, and Eva Perón unexpectedly come for dinner? Help me out here. What could possibly be so special?
Above your clearance, Flowers. Just fetch it already.
Fine. What's the passcode again?
Last year of World War II. If you have to look it up, shame on you.
A meeting in the root cellar. And judging from Yates's choice of wine, some type of celebration. Likely a gathering of heralds come to congratulate Yates on his upcoming promotion. Diana's presence, a calculated risk.
Oh, I'll have to stop you there, sir.
Grand Paladin? It is perfection. Irreplaceable. You don't drink the 1945 Grand Paladin any more than you would write a shopping list on the Mona Lisa. Men like Don Yates know the price of everything, but the value of nothing.
I am sorry, Patron. Say, what if we exchange the labels? Served him a different wine.
Ah. You are devious, Santino, but no. If Mr. Yates wishes to destroy something beautiful, I will not stand in his way. That is between him and his creator.
How did he even get his hands on a bottle? I hear the last of the 45s was sold to Sheikh Omar Al-Ghazali for $600,000. Most expensive bottle ever sold.
Yes. A curious story. See, that bottle you refer to came from a case of 12, which were recovered from a sunken Carlisle shipping container that went down in the South China Sea during the final days of World War II. Now, of those 12, only 5 were raised intact. Al-Ghazali bought one under great media coverage, while the others simply disappeared, quietly obtained by some clandestine private collector. Until one of the bottles was donated to Mr. Yates by Byron Washington, CEO of the Pax Mundus Foundation, as a reward for winning a court case. Now, Byron's twin daughters were treasure hunters, so that explains how he managed to get first pick. But you see, I was here when the bottle arrived, and the crate it arrived in bore a curious logo. Something called the Ark Society.
Intriguing. Do you know what it means?
Well, not a clue. And now, we will never know. Oh, don't get attached, Santino. For all fine things in life are transient.
Make way, people! Gotta find a bathroom right now!
Didn't people used to hide relics and treasures in caves like this?
Do you even know how dangerous cave diving is?
I go diving all the time. It can't be that different.
Narrow spaces, walls all around you, rock formations to get your equipment caught on. Better divers than your stupid ass have died horribly in caves like that.
Well, you don't think it's worth the risk? What if there was something really good down there? Colonial emeralds or something?
Hell no. Dead men don't get rich, mi amigo.
Hombre! Must be those kids messing around again. Very good. Say what? God damn.
Hey, Flowers! Over here. Come on, while we're young.
Sir, I present to you the 1945 Grand Paladin.
Huh. Somehow I thought it'd be bigger. Come on, Flowers. Guests are waiting. Go on, get yourself patted down. We're still on alert from all those big shot CEOs getting offed.
Yeah, keep it real.
I need to search you if you want to pass. Hey, stop twitching. You're not making my life easy here. Okay, man. Vamos.
So here's the deal, Flowers. The boss is having a powwow with some employees, and discretion is the name of the game. I'm sure you figured that out already, you being a scholar and all. Don't discuss, disclose, or hell, even contemplate what goes down. Just set your mind to wool-gathering mode. You think you can do that for me, Flowers?
Worry not, Mr. Cortazar. I'm the very soul of discretion.
Good man. They're already at it. Go on, place the wine on the table.
Decant.
Pardon me, Your Majesty.
I have always considered the heralds the unspoken heroes of Providence. The nervous system, effectively and reliably transmitting the decrees of the brain to the body and limbs of our great...
Flowers, the bottle.
Ah, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Flowers, our resident sommelier. I believe he has brought us something quite special. Perhaps you will educate us, Mr. Flowers.
This is the 1945 Grand Paladin, one of only 5 bottles in existence. The vintage is legendary, the proverbial unicorn wine. The year was hot, the wine's super concentrated, and thanks to hail and frost, the production was small. Only 300 bottles were ever produced. And when the vineyard was bombed during the closing days of World War II, only a single crate survived. It is said to have amazingly complex aromas with long, savory layers of fruit and spice flavors, and a silky texture. Enjoy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Flowers. Feel free to stick around in case our guests have questions. This wine was gifted to me by the Art Society in acknowledgement of my firm's legal services. It stands as a powerful reminder that Providence draws its strength not from force, but from partnership. We are but a few, and yet together we are unstoppable because we stand united. My friends, loyalty is everything, which is why we cannot allow traitors into our ranks.
Ah, yes. Here it comes.
This woman has waged bloody war on us. More than a dozen heralds and operatives dead. Your colleagues and clients, my friend, Ken Morgan. Not to mention the partners themselves, our founders, our benefactors. Make no mistake, this woman's hands are soaked in blood. Our blood. And Arthur Edwards, the new supreme head of Providence, is handing her the keys to the kingdom. Now, does that seem right to you, my friends? Does that sound like loyalty?
Absolutely.
Yes. Perhaps Edwards simply recognizes talent when he sees it. Perhaps this is why I am also in the running to become constant. And following this childish outburst, I dare say I am in the lead. Dawn.
What the? You're lying, of course. Which only proves my point. You cannot be trusted, Miss Burnwood. This woman will be our downfall. That is, unless we take matters into our own hands. You are heralds, sworn to protect Providence against all threats, including inside ones. I have devised a plan. Together we can make it work, but you have to decide now, my friends. Are you with me?
I'm in.
Yes.
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 I agree.
I'm in.
Escort Miss Burnwood to my office. I'll join you
Move it. Let's go.
I'm warning you, Yates. This will not go your way.
We need to get our story straight. Diana Burnwood died today by the hand of her rogue Agent 47. Revenge for her changing sides. This is what you will all attest to.
Yes.
Yes. I agree.
Yes.
I'm in.
A toast, then, in her honor. Savor the taste because you never will again. And let me remind you, we are in this together. One goes down, we all go down. Here's to loyalty.
To loyalty. To loyalty.
Hey, stop! Are you serious? No way you're entering.
Valentina, it worked. Yes, they all back my plan. Your plan. Cortazar will dispose of Burnwood, and Corvo is staging the crime scene, with all the heralds backing my story. Edwards will have no reason for doubt. As always, I owe it all to you, my love. Looks like a beautiful day after all. Yes. See you in a while.
Yeah, you tell me what to do, man. I told the guy, yeah. He's messing with me, man. I'm a bad mama jamma. That's what I said to the guy. No, you know what? Yeah.
Good. I was beginning to worry.
Were you?
No. Listen up, 47. Yates will be here shortly. He'll have his thug Cortazar do his dirty work, but he won't pass up on the chance for a good gloat and a monologue.
So, private space? Kill room decor?
Exactly. We won't get another shot at this. Now sit down and blend in. When I provide a distraction, you just be ready to move.
That was weird. You, take a look.
I hear you. Corvo, pick up your damn phone. Plan B is a go. I repeat, Plan B is a go. Start prepping the crime scene like we discussed. Remote, staged accident. Cortazar will bring the
Please
package.
be careful, sir.
Get it done. Miss Fairwood.
You rolled out the red carpet just for me. Don't. You shouldn't have.
So confident, even in defeat. I suppose you're not used to danger, always safe behind your screens. Just tell me one thing before we part ways.
Why me?
Why you? Why would Edwards trust you? Please. It will keep me awake at nights, and I'm 65. I get up 4 times to piss as it is.
Oh, it's simple, really. Edwards is proud. He considers himself the cleverest man alive, and yet we tricked him on Isle of Scale, and it's eating him up. He needs to win. Full, unequivocal victory. My recruitment was just the feather in his cap. By the way, you were right about one thing.
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Turns out this woman will be your downfall. If it's any consolation, Don,
what
your
are you doing,
instincts
you
were dead
asshole?
on.
Don't just stand there!
Will be constant.
Shoot her!
And I will make it my mission to tear down Providence brick by brick. Finish it.
Such a good boy.
Well done, 47. Better get rid of the body. Won't be long before they come looking. When you're done, meet me on the dance floor. Oh, and dress appropriately.
Okay. Okay, you must be joking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, suits you, sir.
It's done. Now what?
Now, we strike at the heart.
Edwards. You know how to find him, don't you?
Why, Edwards finds you, 47. He is untraceable, and he never lets you forget it. He is cocky, and that will be his downfall.
What's the plan?
Too many eyes. Meet me at the Olive Grove at sunset. One last tango, 47. How did you know?
Your deal. That kind of power always comes with a price. What's yours?
I think you know. I am sorry. This is a necessary evil.
What have you done?
Ether brand neurotoxin transfers by touch. See, Edwards learns by his mistakes, 47. And as you've clearly demonstrated, brute force is futile. It had to be me. It was the only way.
To get this close.
My family. I know what you did. After all these years, I finally know.
I am sorry.
You didn't have a choice. I did. Providence used you, but I'm no better. All I saw was a blank slate, a weapon to wield. I told myself it was what you needed, but people aren't meant to be controlled. This is a kindness. Goodbye, Agent.